Nice to see you again. So I got these two coins at some different auctions last year. Well, this one I got this year in June. This one's from Artemide Aste. They're in San Marino, which is inside Italy, but it's an independent country, so they're actually able to send you this stuff out a lot quicker. Their customs deal somehow isn't as bad as Italy's. That has to do with that memorandum of understanding between the EU and the United States about exporting cultural heritage. They have to show that these coins were already out of their origin country before some date. So anyway, they both came back real nice. This one's from Bertolami. And you know, I can't pronounce words. This one's actually, I think, in Italy. And I don't remember it taking too long, but I had another auction this year from Varese in Italy. And it took them like 3 months to be able to send me this stuff. Anyway, not a rush. It's been a few thousand years already. So these both, I'm showing them to you because they both came back graded really nice. And then I had them do the X-ray fluorescence analysis. It's a surface scan to do a metallurgic analysis of the coin. And so I've heard of two ways of investigating what's in the coin. That one, it's called XRF, the X-ray thing, and also LIBS, it's laser induced something or other. And that one actually, in a super microscopic way, does affect the coin. The X-ray one doesn't. So anyway, and the other one is super expensive. You'd probably have to find some university that does it. But NGC does the X-ray scan. They don't usually, if you look at their website and their forms, it's not a service they offer for ancient coins, but because they offer it for tokens and metals and things where you wouldn't readily know what they're made out of. But that's kind of true for ancient coins, I think, because I know they're silver, but part of the interesting history is the debasement of the currency. And I've actually read some interesting articles where they've done studies, I think using XRF, to determine that there was a significant shift in the trace elements of the metal in certain hoards of denarii found around the time of this one here, the Second Punic War. And it appears that around the same time that they changed to the denarii system, I think right around 214, 212, right in here, that it showed that the source of the metal was different. Like now it was coming from Spain, whereas it had come from further east before. I wish I could tell you the exact details. Maybe I'll put a link below to what I read that told me about that. But what I also read about just recently, from 2013, they determined that these are the XRF, unless the coin is what you would call a plated coin, maybe it's called fouree, or certain of the empire coins, they're just kind of dipped, or someone sneezed some silver on them, or they have silver ring. So that would trick this XRF, and it wouldn't give you an accurate result. But aside from that, and usually in the Republic, they do have the fouree coins, the ones that are plated, but they just trying to get you a nice view. That's the problem with putting them in these, of course, is that you can't really enjoy them as much as you could if you just slowly turn a coin around in your hand without the plastic glare. You've seen my dish of silver denarii that I got, let's say about 10 to 12 years ago, mostly on eBay. They're all, NGC would probably call them very fine. Those are, 1 to 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 1 not worth putting in the capsule, and so it's nice to have them around and you can play with them. But I could tell this was a nice one, and it came back. They even gave it the little fine style thing. So anyway, check this out. 99%. That's pretty good. This is 2,200 years ago, and I don't know how they refined it. I think it is known. I don't think that's a total mystery. But I can't tell you. But it was obviously successful, and you'll notice that 70 years later, in 132 BC, so we got 211. I suppose this could have been minted any time, down to about 206. In any event, still about 70 years in between, 99.1%. Fine silver, 991. And what's the remainder? This is actually kind of the interesting part. And they send me, when they give it back, a piece of paper with even the rest of the more minimal trace elements. Ones that I don't know, like CR. I don't know what CR is. So back in the olden days, they got 0.5% gold. Didn't expect that. And the rest is copper. And I guess there's another quarter mixed up of other garbage. Tiny bit of lead in this one. This one, more lead, right? You got a whole 0.25%. Less gold. And then the rest, Goomba stuff. But, if you were like a academic person, those other stuff might be the interesting part, because apparently the difference in those can give you a clue about changes in sources, and maybe even, because then they can go to the source sometimes. Apparently they have samples maybe from mines or from actually still in the ground in Spain, and it comes out just like that. But then maybe 70 years later, they're getting more of the silver again from Turkey. I know that sometime in the 130s, there's an issue of denarii that supposedly are associated with King Attalus of Pergamum dying and willing his entire kingdom to Rome. I think that will was contested, but not successfully. And I believe they got a ton of silver out of that. This one, this coin, I've got another one that they graded as Choice AU, which is a lesser grade. But it's some more pleasing coin, I think. But this one now, if you look real careful, again, too bad about the plastic, but it is really sharp. The front is kind of off center. And those horses don't have a lot of character. But I think, so I'm sort of trying to learn, what is NGC looking at? I think the letters, And there's not a single scratch or anything on there, but really the letters, look how they are just raised up and rounded topped, but kind of sharp rounded top. They're not worn down. There's not wear on it. This one, I feel, this does not look as sharp as that one, but it's a much more pleasing coin to me, and I definitely am trying to focus on these anonymous denarii from around the Second Punic War. Down to about the 180s is still nice, though, while Hannibal's still out there. And Scipio Africanus, and they're both old. So I'll show you this one here. I got this from Kunker in Germany. Again, apologies to the nice people at Kunker if their name is pronounced in some less funny sounding way. So this one is, got a lot in common with this other one I just showed you. They're not identical, though. Definitely different dyes. I believe that the label, if I send this to NGC, it's going to come back as the exact same thing. And I may ask them to do the analysis to tell me, we also 99% on this one and 0.5% gold. So this one's more well-centered on both sides. the encapsulated one, the front with the face, was well centered, but the reverse is off. Although I think it's easy to see this one is better preserved. Looking at these two, by the way, having looked this stuff up on the internet, it seems that these would be distinguished most easily by the cape. This one's got a wrinkle in the bottom of the cape. This one doesn't. I'm sure you could find other differences, but when I first looked at them, I thought, geez, those are a lot the same. Oh, and this one, the Roma, has a line on, it's almost totally enclosed in lines. This one is not. And it's not just off the flan or the piece of silver. It's really not part of the design, so these are different. But not much different. Both really nice. This is what I'm trying to get more of. Although, these are the most common, I think. It sure looks like it here, right? But there are other face designs, with different helmets and stuff from the same time, or from 212 or 206. And finding those in good condition, I think, is a lot tougher. And it's hard to throw down the dough for a coin that is scarce or rare, but it just doesn't really look that good. So it's just like the frosted mini wheats guy, you got the kid, you got the adult on the other side. So nice job, NGC. I definitely, let's say about 3 years ago, I would have never thought of wanting any of these coins in these plastic cases. And I still get a lot of sadness out of it, but in the right light, and if you turn it the right way, you can still see these. That's the saving grace. You can still see your coins, so not a total loss when you send them off to NGC. All right, thanks for watching. I actually got a ton of new coins. I mean, these kinds. And I sent them to NGC just over the last year and a half, but I haven't had a chance to make a video. And so I figured I'm just going to do this on my phone. And I'm not going to have to edit it or do anything. I was going to upload it. Let's see what you think. Have a great evening.